Welcome back to the channel. We're going to talk about Cade Cunningham's incredible performance at Madison Square Garden in Detroit's recent win over the Knicks. He has been phenomenal as of late. I made a video on him earlier this year, and man, he has been so good since then. Going to be an all-star for sure. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff if you're enjoying the video. I really appreciate all of you. The support recently has been really great. And Cade, of course, excellent pick-and-roll passer. That's something that we've known, but he's passing incredibly well this year, but he's also leveled up as a scorer. And so much of that is because of his pull-up shooting. He is a ridiculously efficient, high-volume pull-up shooter this year. And I think he's made some changes. His release is a little bit higher. You can see he's holding it above his head when earlier he would release from kind of near his chin, which has definitely made it easier for him to get through contests. And he's much more comfortable on these forward momentum pull-ups, which is a really important thing to be able to do when teams are playing drop coverage on you all the time. But there's one area, fairly major area, where Cade needs to improve, and that's the finishing. He just isn't a very explosive player at the rim, and he has some just kind of like inexplicable misses. We'll get to that more later, but the finishing is currently the thing that's holding him back, because he can like get up in space and dunk the ball like in transition, and we'll see some others throughout this game. And Cade has his fair share of half-court dunks, but there's just a certain level of, I don't know exactly what it is, whether it's continuing to build strength in his lower body, core stability, improve his vertical, something like that. There definitely is something missing in terms of the finishing package that I think obviously can get there. Cade is still extremely young. Cade is going to get double teamed a lot, and his turnovers are not as bad as they have been, but still a thing to monitor. Cade gets doubled, picks up the ball, and just kind of airmails a pretty easy pass. I don't know. To me, that's just like a weird gaffe mistake that I generally do trust players will clean up. And of course, Cade is a beast in transition running the floor. But again, another like just really close miss to the rim. I don't know if it's a touch thing, or he probably could take another dribble and get closer to the rim there to make his life even easier. But definitely something to monitor. The Cade show is gonna start soon, and whew, that was a beautiful move. His handle has gotten so good, and he knows that the Kings want to ice pick and rolls, right? They want to force you to the sideline. Cade uses that to open space with the in and out, get to the middle, and yeah, Karl-Anthony Towns is not the level of rim protector you need to stop Cade Cunningham going downhill in space. This third quarter is where he really started to take off. Great pass ahead there to Asar. Duran gets the rebound, back out to Cade, who just nails the catch and shoot three. Like it's so smooth, it's so good. I don't know. I was lacking a superlative that I wanted exactly there. And man, Cade, as we talked about in the last video, his mid-range scoring, really just notice how patient and under control he is. This has always been a thing, right? He's waiting. He gets Bridges on his hip, almost pump fake, fade away, like incredibly impressive shot that Cade Cunningham has been able to hit at a pretty solid clip throughout his career. But here's another example of the finishing limitations where a long defender in Mikal Bridges is able to pluck him from behind. Definitely some of the issues with being like a more below the rim finisher, right, is lengthy, explosive wing defenders can give him trouble at the basket, right? That's his major kind of improvement point to me for really developing into a star. But man, the shooting is really good, both on the ball with the pull-ups, like we said, but also off the catch, right? Playing off of Detroit's other players. And unfortunately for Cade, at the moment, Detroit doesn't really have other real creators besides him. But that's kind of okay at times because Cade is just that good already. Double drag here. They'd love to just, run two screens for Cade, get Asar, get Duran, let Cade go to work in space. Mikal defends this and Hart switches really well, but once again, the control, and he's getting good at avoiding like the perils of his handle. Like his handle definitely isn't perfect, so Cade's gonna just pick up the ball before Brunson even has the chance, spin to the middle, and his touch is so good. He's been so good this year on those post hooks, so I really don't think the finishing is a touch issue. I think it's probably something else. He doesn't end up making this pull-up three, but I really like the way that Cade sets himself into it. He's kind of toying with Anunoby right here. Like, Stewart's going to come set the screen, but before that happens, right, he backs up, kind of moves Anunoby away from his position and is able to run him straight into the screen and pull up and, get a wide open three. But even though Cade doesn't hit the shot, we can see some pretty impressive process in the way that he's creating. Nice little pass there to Stewart. Not as high of a volume passing game in this game. The Pistons really needed him to score, but of course Cade was able to make high quality passes when he needed to. Just gonna stop in the mid range there. Again, yeah, he's so good decelerating, slowing down, taking a hop step. The control is a feature skill. That's something that always stands out when you watch Cade Cunningham play basketball. And he's been doing this stuff since he was playing with Texas Titans and AAU, just coast to coast, dunking the ball, the biggest, fastest guy on the court. Like, this is who Cade Cunningham has always been. Just a monstrous downhill driver. And I'm glad he's improving, definitely, at least in some regard, in terms of advantage creation, getting to the rim. Really nice, this like basic little action, this kind of fake, or just this motion by Harris behind, like a fake dribble handoff, freezes these two defenders for a second, lets Cade get by Anunoby. Beautiful little, that's an incredible finish right there. Kind of falling over almost. Really good balance here, body control, and again, I really do believe in the touch when we see him make shots like that overall. But yeah, Cade is so good, and it's only going to get better. We're on to the fourth quarter, isolating against Deuce McBride. Here's another one of these just, I don't know, it rimmed out. He created separation, got a basically wide open layup, at least in the NBA, but just couldn't necessarily convert, which I don't know. I don't really know what to make of it. Another awesome forward momentum pull-up three. Just so comfortable with this because, a lot of teams play over and drop coverage. They have one screen defender chasing over and staying on this player's back, trying to deny the pull-up three. And you have Cat dropping back, trying to take away the rim. But Cade doesn't care, right? McHale, really good contest right here. McHale gets in his face, but just isn't able to do anything there. Like, Cade just splashes it over him, and you can see McHale look like, what the hell am I supposed to do when Cade Cunningham is hitting shots like that? I don't really know what you're supposed to do, and when he can split the defense like this, oh my goodness. Oh man, Cade is ridiculous. Again, we see this like over and drop coverage, except this time Towns steps up a little higher, right? Because he's worried about the pull-up three. What does this mean? Cade could just split between them with his handle, finish over McBride, and of course, because Towns pulled himself away to the perimeter to try to guard Cade, there's nobody here guarding the paint. So Cade's able to get in there, finish with his left hand. Another example of the great touch, point being, I believe in the touch. I think it's really there, and I do think the finishing will get there, but the handle definitely still needs work. Just ball control and traffic stuff. It's better this year than it was last year for sure, but there's still too many of these plays where he's just kind of like driving into traffic or turns the ball over. Another example of like, sometimes it's just tough when the Pistons really have Cade as the only guy who can create, and the Knicks can sell out on him really hard, right? Like, they're just not afraid. I guess Hardaway shooting is like the biggest threat, but for some reason he's not spaced to the corner. Asar's not a shooter. Tobias is like fine, but inconsistent. Like, Cade is really the only threat. And of course, Jaden Ivey's injury has exacerbated this issue. He was having a pretty solid year as well, which is like, I don't know, maybe Pistons are gonna, trade for someone. I don't know. Cade gets blocked again at the rim and kind of like barely goes in right there. Gonna be a couple plays here in this fourth quarter where he's not able to finish the play, but those have not come at this moment. Or I think maybe we've already gotten past those. This is just all NBA stuff. Isolated against one of the best isolation wing defenders in the league, Anunoby. Stutter rip gets him kind of trailing this way, and of course Cade can explode the other way. Decelerates, hops off of the wrong foot, right hand finish. Hangs in the air and flips it in. That is just an unbelievable shot. And Cade is hyped as fuck, which, like, I would be too if I just made that shot in Madison Square Garden. He's going to get downhill and draw the foul there, right there on the little floater attempt. And I believe he's going to end this not making this shot, but I had to show off the space creation. Like, even with Cade not making the shot. And the Pistons did end up hanging on to win this game. Isolated against a pretty damn good defender in Mikal Bridges, or at least has been in the past. Half spin, step back, like that is just nasty. And Cade is so much better than he once was at creating space from all over the floor, right? I mean, he still can hit contested jumpers as we've seen, but he's so much better at getting himself into space, especially in the intermediate area. And then just like the passing, which we didn't even see that much of the passing in this game, but his passing is unbelievable and has been since the moment he stepped into the league. But man, the pull-up shooting comfort and diversity there, his ability to win with his handle and get downhill, like it's all really special stuff. And we didn't show any of it today, but his defense has been excellent this season as well. Just a really great weak side rim protector, can guard the ball as well, you know, against bigger wings and some bigger players. Not the greatest against guards, but yeah, Cade's like a high level defender while being a really good initiator. Like I definitely think Cade's gonna have a chance to push for an All NBA team this year with the way that he's playing. Like I think that's kind of the question now. I mean, I think he's definitely an all-star, and if he keeps playing like this, like I don't know about this season, but in the future, I mean, I think it's just so bright for Cade and by extension the Pistons. You know, even if none of the other guys like really pan out like they can, just having Cade Cunningham be your primary initiator of the future is a monumental win. And if I were a Pistons fan, I would be really, really happy right now, and I'm sure most of them are.